Hey everybody, this is Gail at Longmont Yarn Shop, and I'm going to teach you about what you're going to do with one of the packages in your Hygge Box. So I know many of you have already made your Nissies, either crocheted or knit, and what we thought would be fun was for them to have a little tree to be part of their community. And the idea we had is that you could learn how to do some wet felting and have that opportunity to try maybe something you hadn't done before, which is wet felting. So in your packet you have some roving, which probably looks something like this, and it's enough that you can break it into 3 sections. And so how I'm going to suggest you do this is you're going to take it and you're going to pull it, hold it down, and then pull it apart like this. There's a section, and then you're going to pull it apart again. And you're going to put it crosswise from the previous pull. And then you're going to take the last bit and put it this direction. So you'll have something that looks something like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's about the right size that it'll fit perfectly in your baggie that you have. You don't want to get it to shrink up too much before it goes in the baggie, because you're going to make it shrink some when it goes through the felting process. So then the next thing you're going to add is some water. And this is about maybe 1/4 of a cup poured in the bag. And then a little drop of Dawn dish soap. Well, it's more than a little drop, but that's okay. Seal up your Ziploc bag, and then you're going to start pressing down on your bag to get the water evenly distributed. And I have a little bit of an air bubble, which isn't a problem, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it by opening up my bag. Whew. A little shaky screen here, and then closing it. So the next step is packing it down and rubbing it, because what you're doing is you're opening up. The soap and the water are lifting up the scales on the merino fiber, and the scales lift up, and then they are available to receive the agitation and the soap and the water, and then lock down on their neighboring fibers. So what I'm doing is creating a little bit of friction without trying to shift the wool too much, because it needs to hang out in the place we put it originally. So everybody's got different colors of roving in their bag. Some people have dark trees, some people have light trees, but all of you guys can make some trees. And you should also have a cork in your bag that comes with the roving to mount your tree on. We've heard so many positive things about the Hygge Box. Really does our heart good to know that, some of you are using this as a special time for reflection. Some of you are doing it with a dear friend, and some of you do it first thing in the morning as a ritual. Some of you do it at night. I learned this technique of wet felting from Annie of Annie's Alpaca Ranch. She does this with her alpaca roving to make Christmas ornaments. In fact, this is a Christmas ornament that she made for the store using this technique of wet felting. This is kind of a fun thing to know how to do. Great for kids. It's kind of magic, actually. All right, so I feel like my roving is starting to felt. It's becoming a solid sheet. I'm gonna peek inside. Hopefully I'm staying on camera most of the time. Yeah, things are looking pretty good in here. It's pretty stable. So now I'm gonna step away from the camera and I'm gonna rinse a little bit of this out. This is kind of the fun part of wet felting. Now I'm gonna do some throwing. And this is just a little bit of an exaggeration of what we were doing before. I have plenty of soap in this. It's not going to be a problem because I'll rinse it out, but I'm making a mess here on the back table. Yeah. So this, again, agitation, moisture, soap. Don't need as much soap as I put in. And look, I'm creating a sheet of felt. And it gets more dense as I rub it and work it, and more solid. And my hands are super clean. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is rinse it. I'm pretty sure you guys all know what rinsing looks like. And here is my finished piece of felt, which is still pretty square. There's a little bit of a thin spot there and there, but it's not a problem. All right, so now I have a piece of felt. But what I'm going to do now is show you with another piece of felt that I made earlier what the next step is. So what you've got is a kind of a square, which kind of lends itself to being made into a triangle, pointy triangle. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut diagonally across this. This is where you just kind of wing it. And you're going to make two little trees. You want to make sure that your base is big enough to fit over your cork. That is definitely plenty big. My cork is going to fit right in there just fine. Crash, bang, boom. So this tree is going to be a little taller than my last tree, but that's okay. So here's my tree. So now you guys have some sashiko embroidery thread. And you're going to thread your thread in your needle. I was hoping I could show you a little hint I learned from a class I took in another yarn store on how to thread a needle with a thin eye. So I'm not doing so well. You fold it in half tight. I'm so glad the Hygge people are patient and kind. Fold it tight, pinch it. Oh gosh, take 3. Fold it tight, pinch it, and then press it through the eye. And you can pretty much get it through like that without licking it. And then honestly, this next part, I was thinking, you know, you could do a running stitch or a mattress stitch around the edge. Actually, what I meant to do was start down here. You're just going to do a running stitch around your little tree. I'm sure some of you with better embroidery skills than I have will make something way fancier, maybe with Christmas ornaments or some other accoutrement. A running stitch around your tree. La-di-do. I'm thinking Christiana's going to walk in the door any minute. She's an early bird. She'll go, what are you doing? I'll say, I'm making a Christmas tree. All right, cork is rolling. So I used to, there was the Boulder Hand Weavers Guild is such an amazing resource. And I was in a study group for wet felting before Longmont Yarn Shop. And I got to do all kinds of neat felting things at Kathy Bickle's farm. I think they still meet. And felting is a really amazing process. I don't know if you guys realize that those yurts that are made of wool are basically felted wool. They think felting originated back in the days of old when people had cold feet and wanted to line their boots with something warm, and so they stuck the sheep's fleece into the bottom of their boots and proceeded to go walking, and the wool felted in their boots. Oh boy, so that's a little bit of a crude maneuver, but that's my running stitch. And all you need to do after you get your running stitch secured is tie some knots, cut your string. Some of you have mentioned your corks that are recycled are a little wobbly. Just break out the part that makes them wobbly so they can stand steady. And there you have it. So here are my two little Nissi gnomes and the tree that I made them recently. And folks, I hope you enjoyed learning about wet felting and that you're having fun with your Hygge Box. And we look forward to seeing your trees if you can post them on Instagram or other social media or bring them by the store. Happy Hygge, take care.